Soil is kind of like our life source. All the food we grow comes from the soil. Our food can only be as nutritious and good for us as the soil it is growing in.
Soil health is important because we want our food to be able to support us.
The soil's been mined for a couple of generations before us, and when the second generation started applying all these synthetic fertilizers to grow a much bigger crop, it just slowly acidified our soil and degraded the biological activity in the soil.
We are every time depending more on bringing more inputs, pest control, weed control.
You can see where hillsides have eroded over decades because you have your eyebrow and then where it's farmed below the eyebrow and there's like a 3-foot difference. And you're like, okay, so the soil used to be up here and now it's here, and that's not good.
I think farmers have really come to understand that they've got to do a better job of leaving this place better off than when they started. I think when you're all done farming and you've moved on to a better life, knowing that you did something that improved your piece of dirt rather than degraded it, I think that's a really big thing.
FLOURISH is farmers leading our United Revolution in soil health. And essentially, it's 27 farmers in Idaho, Washington, and Oregon that are integrating livestock and cover crops.
FLOURISH is a farmer-led idea followed by some grant dollars that allowed us to use our ingenuity to be able to answer real-world, timely questions with scientific data to develop strategies for the future generations of regenerative agriculture in the Pacific Northwest.
It's designed as like a peer-to-peer learning network. So when it first started, there was all these folks that were trialing cover crops and integrating livestock, but they weren't really all connected. And so we recruited 30 farmers. The goal was to assess soil health metrics as they do these changes in their farming practices, as well as look at like economics and the wider societal benefits.
The main practice the farmers are trying is cover crops.
A cover crop is generally a multi-species mix of plants that are used to cover the soil, often in times where the soil could be left bare.
And cover crops are essentially a crop that's grown not to be harvested, but for the sole purpose of protecting and improving soil health. And it can be a whole bunch of mix of things like radishes and turnips and oats, or it could just be one specific thing to meet the farmer's goals. Typically, they're either sprayed out or tilled in or grazed.
There are many benefits to cover crops, one of them being they are a good erosion control.
In this last event, we had snow cover, and then we had rain, and then we had melt off, and we had frozen ground. I did notice that we had some erosion, and one of the things that Erin and I kind of pinpointed out with my cover crop on top of the hill was it did not erode where the cover crop was. It actually started right where the chem fallow was.
Water infiltration was huge and like so apparent for me after that massive rain event early this spring, because it was like, holy cow, like we did not have nearly as much erosion as we could have because the water seemed to stay in the field.
And so having those roots, and they help break up compacted layers of soil, allowing for more water to infiltrate.
And that's so important. I mean, if you lose your water, you're losing one of your key resources for that crop.
One of the great things of using cover crops over time is you're going to start seeing an increase in organic matter.
And organic matter is important for holding water in the soil. It's food for microbes.
You can think of it as a bank account. More organic matter, a big bank account in terms of nutrients. So those nutrients are coming now from the soil rather than having to bring fertilizers.
Diversity in soil health is super important because it's like diversity in your own diet. Like, you can't just eat bread every day of your life. It just helps feed all the different biology in the soil, and the more diverse it is, the better.
And what we are seeing overall is an increase in organic matter and also increasing pH. Acidification is a problem in the dryland. So anything that increases pH is something that we are interested on.
there's not like a rule book or a guide, cooking instructions to what exactly is going to work in this area. So it is pretty well established in the Midwest, but here we're still playing with what species will work.
Just trying to figure out what mix of cover crops works the best for the area. One of the biggest limitations here is water.
It's not our main cash crop, so it's not the highest priority in the spring. And so then if the time and the weather gets away from us, we might not get it seeded at an ideal time, so it might not do as much to benefit us as we want it to.
The biggest challenge, I guess, would be our climate is changing, and every spring is so dramatically different. Either we're cool and wet super late in the spring, or like this spring, we were hot and dry, we got everything planted, worked wonderfully. We got a little teeny tiny bit of rain right after I planted my cover, and not a drop of rain since.
Fitting all those pieces together and there not being a one-size-fits-all model.
I think that it's getting there, but I think just all of these things take a lot longer than you think they might.
This is the first time that I see so many farmers coming together.
Watching this group of people evolve. So we brought them all together in the very beginning, and everybody has like strong opinions and is like doesn't really know each other yet. And now it's like these really cool groups of people in these different regions that are all working together and talking about what they're doing.
Learning how to take care of the land so that the food that you eat is healthy for you, from our garden at home to the 5,000 acres we farm.
And if we're going to continue to do this for another 3 decades, 4 decades, I can't continue to watch that go away. I want to make things better. I want to leave them in a better place.
It's very encouraging. It makes me happy and excited to be working in this team and be part of that story. So that's amazing.